Yesterday, yesterday, I expanded upon the intricate small print unknowns of no address. Before I began with it, Randy, I went, where I go? Getting back up after no address and what that means. After being without a shelter, being without food, being without a way to artistically or community express yourself and connect, being away from the things that allow you to know that you are here, part of, here in community, here in your body, your mind, your soul. No address test that every day, everywhere. No address if you're new, without housing, without shelter, without safety, without the everyday blessings, joys in finite things to let you know you are well. I mentioned being asked, and there are multiple videos where I make sure that I give my transformation, my transition, full space and feeling, so I can continue to grow, continue to shed, continue to be well, continue to check in on me, and also make sure I do the righteous thing of not allowing the willing and the silence to shame me, guilt me, allow me brain fog where I don't trust that what I've experienced, what I've been able to manifest and also transmute would be of any desire to someone else besides myself, to believe the fluff that your mind can sometimes create, that ain't nobody checking for that, ain't nobody think about that, ain't nobody radar, ain't give about that type thing. So no address for me was 11 months. Right now I'm standing back up. I'm forming, nurturing. I'm almost like from start incubation, because no address is taxing to the mind, taxing to the body, and taxing to, I feel community, but it's only taxing to community because community can be a home away from home. We have so many examples and so many people who showed us that, told us that experiences that we can recall and share forward, where community was the second home. So that's what I mean when no address can be taxed into community, because community ought to be nourishing, nurturing, safe space, abundant, fruitful, fully fruitful, where everyone can have more than enough. You are welcome here. It is yours. It is ours, type of thing. So I was mentioning previous live a conversation of, oh, you was outside because you don't work for nobody. And what I have learned by being away from everything so richly, so like intensely, to really listen and observe and be present while things are happening. It's an Indinkle symbol, and I'm absolutely a born teacher. So screenshot it and do your homework, and that's the blessing about being in authority of what is going on that you may not be able to control. You can say how much or how little you allow technology to be a part of your everyday, and be that technology is like it is like girls gone wild. It's out here. There isn't. It is the blessing is creating the space where there is no way, unless you just choose to be ignorant. It's information is bombarded everything. Like it's so much to know, so much to find out, too much to see. Like it's taking away choice almost. Where you used to could go and search if you want to, or you go pick up your paper. You had to go to it. Now it's like uppercutting you while you in the bathroom, uppercutting you when you're in the kitchen, uppercutting you when you with your kids, like it's everywhere. Walking your dog, like is ferocious, but you still have the authority to say how much and how little you allow technology to be a part of your day. But my yesterday point was they mentioned, oh, you was outside because you don't want to work for nobody. And I said, and why I'm saying being in a new address situation allowed me to have like it morphed me into having spider eyes. Where they got multiple eyes, like it morphed me into having spider eyes where like I could have thrashed in outbursts or frustration because you didn't even you didn't ask to be informed. You told me, you assumed, you just like painted the whole shit black and said it done and over with. Like you ain't even you summed it up without even inquiring. So I said what I would do is make sure, because sometimes what we don't do is give clarity. We don't be open to share. We don't be open to inform. We don't be open to step forward or either listen and then imply. Because sometimes you gotta listen and let them get all the shit out, and then that's when you hit them with the and then now they either can listen because they really wanted to learn, or they can get uncomfortable because now you put them in a position where they have to take responsibility for this now knowing of who you are and what you have experienced in the fullness of it. They can't just pack it up and move it on and shit. Because sometimes people talk quick or talk maybe out of turn because they don't want the responsibility of the full engagement of the conversation. Of say, me, what I'm about to inform y'all of, because the best thing that I can do for myself after experiencing such a terrorizing, life-changing, soul-moving experience is to not be quiet, to give it face, to give it sound, to give it autonomy, to give it intimacy, to give it compassion, to give it honor, to give it a right view, right actions. I have a paper trail of my neurological functioning being shifted and altered into a pace where it's ahead of me. I can walk with it and we be in tandem and then boom, out of nowhere I can just lose the reins and it go wild like a Mustang. And I gotta wait for it to like come back or I gotta go searching for the shit. Like I'm not always in control of my chemical responses, which leads to physical responses. So my paper trail says that. I've been in the short bus Olympics, the DEC classes, the IEP champions league since the fourth grade, and my experience started because of a brain injury that I sustained in '95 when I was 10. A traumatic brain injury happened when I was 10, and everything's been different since that day. Everything has been different. IEPs, psychologists, switching of classrooms, environments, temperament, trying to learn identity. Before even a 10-year-old kind of, well, these new babies are a different makeup, but 95, a 10-year-old doesn't have perspective on what a brain injury will do and how your life will really change. And at the same time, so much was yet to be known about, curious to be informed of. So things were just happening, whether it be like the big majority of people within Baltimore City who got lead cases, meaning that they got, wrongful suit cases because of, housing not being on the up and up and had lead all in the place where people were breathing, living, and shoved and forced to kind of be in these housing projects, experiments. And they were full of lead paint, peeling paint, lead paint with just, asbestos and stuff like that. And it was a big deal. Do some homework on Baltimore. There's so many things that happen to the people of Baltimore, and it seems to be continuous. The attacks in Baltimore, for real, like it seems to be continuous for real. Like lead cases, a certain age group getting lead and having lead in their blood, and if you do any homework on lead in your blood is a permanent thing. Like it's almost like, I don't know, it's a deep thing. It's almost like a neurotoxin in your blood. And from how I understand it, it don't have to be a large amount of it. It could be a small portion, and boom, your whole makeup is rearranged. And if nobody understands what that means in reference to like what is lead, what does it do to the person, how will it affect the person today, 10 years from now, for their whole life, how does it affect the environment? Is it like airborne where the mom or the parent or the siblings can get it? What behavioral patterns will they have now? Like same thing. So the brain injury, my people wasn't prepared for what that meant, nor was I. Like your depending on what the brain injury is, and that means whatever part of the brain that the injury was and what that area controls is going to be highly impacted. So they weren't prepared for like, your child is about to be totally different, and more in a emotional behavioral way. Like that person isn't going to be able to control their behavior, their mood, same thing, mood, behavior, chemical ratios, misfires, or one thing is 90, 100, and then the other one is 40, 30. Like everything is shuffled and it's constantly like in overdrive or malnourished. Like and there ain't no fixing it besides you being informed about it and knowing some of the maybe um what they call it. Let me find the word. Yeah, what it is. 'Cause like now they calling it holistic, but what's the other one? Like if you don't know what ways and what services to support the child with, and at the same time, if this is going to be a continuous, like this ain't gonna be like, oh, just do rehab for a year and she gonna be back on track. Like this is like, this really ain't no fixing it. Like this is just you doing your best with living beyond what this is done and is doing. Getting I don't know, a full relationship where you may be upset about it and what you will now be responsible for, what responsibilities are now going to come to your child, to you, the parents, you, the family, you, the school, you, like everything is impacted by this traumatic brain injury, like everything. And if you're not equipped to even know the baseline of like, what does that mean? What is that word? What is that? What now? After this, you're not even starting there or equipped for that part. You're like the water is chin level, and then on top of it, if it's going to be a long term, you're going to have to thrive through it. This means this is a full commitment. This ain't when you feel like it or when you got the energy. This is, you have to almost say something that can be identified too. You learn that, after not having a child that's somebody said it earlier in this podcast, not so much adaptive, but social. You don't know what that silence is, and now you suspect and assume and try to not be angry or frustrated, and if it goes for a long period of time, you might spin out if you don't have like a compassionate perspective or a space to be forgiving and compassionate. You're gonna spin out because and then you will do then you can forgive the parent or whoever the caretaker is without knowledge of what this is or any suggestion of how to interface with it, deal with it, move with it, grow through it, grow with it. It's gonna turn into frustration, anger, and self-blaming and think like so I'm saying like that happened in 95. I was 10. And so that's like 30 years ago. And this is my second win, my salvation, my way to make sure I care for my mind, body, and soul. It is my restitution and retribution. All right. It's so smooth how it really came in. It came in almost back to back. Me fully knowing and expressing that I am able to create came almost at the same time as the accident. And I trust that it was like almost like autopilot or second gear that happens when they be like, if you get tired, if it's set up right, because sometimes tired means stop, but if it's set up where it's not really like a stop, and then you switch into that second gear that most athletes talk about, same thing. I trust that that's what that was. Like, all right, this is not so much shattered, but this is mixed up right now. And rather than crashing the whole system, let's go into a safe second gear of the other part of your mind. So if the logical part is like kind of in a mosaic space because it didn't get broke, but it's in a mosaic type of shape because of the brain injury, we'll shift into, damn, that sound like that was healing. Shift into your more feminine art, creative, imaginative mind to bring a respite type of soft, easeful, gracious type of tone in actions that allow you to not be in a stressed state and kind of like um making it more like almost picking at the scab or keep touching the room. Let's just move you over to this compartment while we figure that out. And the best environment would be for you to be in a easeful, gracious, calm, dreamy, manifesting type of uh, reality. That might not be really though. Also, like, and also no address has allowed me to be so present in the fact that, yo, it's deeper than I even imagined. The gift of being able to have an imagination. The gift of saying yes. How about that? The gift of saying yes to your imagination. Because all of us were introduced to play and all of us have play in us. The artistic expression is the commitment to your imagination. The nurturing, the nourishment of your imagination. Choosing it, saying yes. Like that is absolutely one of the other, besides the supernatural authority, allowing me inhalation and exhalation. My art kept me together. My art kept me together. My imagination kept me together. Me being able and trust that like everything has a polar. Days when you're gonna be angry, rageful, frustrated, and then days is gonna be absolute sheer joy and ecstasy. They come tandem. They come like a shadow come to the body. They are both present. It wasn't but the finisher was being able to switch into perspective. So whether it been watching people show me the ugliest, their grandmother would be ashamed, or their grandmother would have two dimes, not 2 cents, 2 dimes to say about the shit that they're doing and how they acting. The shit they doing and how they behaving, their grandmother would have 2 dimes, not 2 cents to say about it. Me watching people show their ass, show me they're fearful, show me that they had chose to allow what somebody else said do. They've become a machine. And being a machine meaning you're not coming from a space of like, even if it is like, yo, if this person crossed my path, I kind of feel like the potential of this could be me, or this is for me to see. Not clear on all levels why, but I was supposed to see this. Like that part, like that, if that's all you got to be able to do right or do something, that's enough. Some were like this, yo, you cutting up in the church, in the temple, tabernacle. You showing your ass. Like, some people were really like, I don't even feel like, I understand, but in a way, like, don't hold no punches. Like, some people were despicable in how they chose to respond to someone who was in transition from life happening life trying to teach them something, life showing them something, life putting them into something, life making them be fully in their feelings, fully engaged in the service that their experience is giving to the community, because the mission could be for the wino to be in that location, for you to know wellness is a gift and an inheritance. And if you're a real sharp student, you would not leave that person on the table of something that could be nourishing and nurturing to your expansion of yourself. You would not leave that shit on the table. You would be like, yo, let me ask this person a question or two if they open. Let me learn something from what has crossed my path, or was allowed on my path. The mismanagement, or is this not your time to be that forthright, watching my words, would be to be like, hey, what would that, you know, what was she, how was she baby? That person ain't benefiting me. That person deserves no connection, amplification of my life. Look at what they had. What would they have to tell me? What could they tell me? To be in that space, yeah. But I watched some ridiculous things go on because of someone's fearful perspective on, I have more than you, I am better than you, I've been in a consistent up, so that'll never be me. I would never be that broken. Like they were in, and it also allowed me perspective again to know the beauty of being able to choose your thought, being able to choose how you respond, the responsibility of your action and inaction. Because it was days where like, yeah, I got no address, but I got one mouth. And I also was cognizant of getting as much rest as I can, not trying to overload and still be like on a schedule. Sometimes I did, I ain't gonna hold you. I was like, I was on the schedule. Like, you get up at this time, you do this at this time. By this time, we need to already have this much done. By this time, that means that we need to be checking our list to know, what we did. Is that efficient? Or add some more, try again. Like, it really was almost like how somebody has a shift, 6 to 2, 8 to 4, 9 to 5 sometimes. Till I had to look like, what is she, why? What is this? I hear you, but at this point, we need to be softening the need to be. We need to just be easy, intentional, but easy. So, if intentional is, it's cold, we in the vehicle, do you have any resource? Where are you going to source resource? All right, once you get the resource, what is pertinent? Hand warmers, more layers, and the funny part that the power of being assigned certain tasks and being able to have the lens of perspective to not be burnt or feel chosen for, like, marked or set up, the perspective to not even be like, yo, who but me to be able to be in this situation because of how I think, what I know already, how I am flexible, imaginative, playful, gracious. Sometimes certain people are in a assignment so they can amplify it to change the whole perspective and vibration of it. Whether it be somebody who went through the griddle of being no address, they now have so many sufficient transitional houses from like like the what they call it, like but it, like people have like a daily thing, or a you have to be able to go along with this because this is the hygiene of the space. Whether it be, you have to have an intention, you have to have some self goals, you have to be able to be flexible to a curfew but not a curfew, like that thing. The person who has come through the griddle of no address, once given access and commitment, they now have these transitional houses that are like, they're immaculate. They are so efficient and well thought out. But who would, like, sometimes it's the person who knows it thoroughly through and through to conjure such efficiency in a tumultuous situation. It is only that person. Because sometimes the inefficiency is because of the ignorance, the failure to have experience. Not that you can't, like how school is, you go and rehearse and regurgitate, but the experience is the signature. To know what it is to have and see how you have to manage and maintenance the super yes, the illustrious yes, the this black card of yeses. You have to manage that. You have to have some integrity. You have to have like all of these virtuous things to make sure that that money is good money. So it's not just, no address, wow shit, that's not the only place that you can get a workout or a challenge from. You could be, the challenge could be, like I said, to create a rhythm in a way about you that is constantly chipping away at the monster of entitlement. Like, cause that could be the test. We've given you all that can be imagined. Now, will you keep your roots, your will, your imagination, your grace, your magic, your woo, your will to continuously learn, your gratitude for what you know already, and the seasons of completion where you have to step away from maybe you created this whole persona or whole thing that people, do on a daily, like say if you fucking created the toothbrush, like now we don't need you to do the toothbrush a day damn more. We need you to go into creating a chat before we even knew. Like we need you to go from making fucking toothbrushes. We need you to stop that today and mean it today and move into creating a chat GBT software. Like we need you to be able to complete that and go into this wholeheartedly. That could be another terrorizing deep ass of life experience. And the chat GBT has done great things, and then like everything, it comes with bullshit, but it's done amazing things. It came in and it made people think in a illustrious, imaginative way that this is precise. I like this shit. Everybody can use it. Imagine the brains that choose to use it, not just the ones like the brains who choose to use it is an also an offshoot of all types of creative expressions about to just challenge this thing and leave an energetic signature like how Google is. Everything that anybody ever asked to search is what is regurgitating back to you. Like imagine that done well, without any blemishes, without really having to do the clickety clacking on your computer, like that shit be talking to you and shit. Like, so that's what I mean, right? But all the way to the top, I got a paper trail, and that's why I'm full throttle into my art as my way to live, breathe, be, and be in community. It is what I have after. And yes, it is a continuous wellness and continuous completing and birthing after the brain injury. Absolutely. And like how I said, you have to learn what those things are. Like now we have an abundance of wellness options and actions and things of that nature. Everything is available now, where you can regrow this back, regrow nerves, and it's so much. Go to this place to get an exclusive this. If you can't get it here, you can go that like it's everywhere. But you still have to be committed to your wellness because it's for the long haul. And you have to be committed to your wellness because some facets in responsibility, yeah, you can have things on paper that says that this person is prone to, this person will likely, you at some point will be accountable for what you're doing and how that's showing up in the world. Paper trail or not. Yeah, paper trail or not. Because on some other topic, but same thing, a person could be like, oh, this person has a classification that says that they're not chemically balanced enough to support that physical action. So we're not going to do jail, we'll do psychiatric time. You still got to do psychiatric time. So you still got to be responsible for how you're showing up in the world and how that's rippling out. How what you're doing and how your being is rippling out to the whole. So like it ain't really no you still responsible. Even if you got some proof or you it can be justified, you still have to be responsible because say if something does happen, what if the justification or the responsibility is in you knowing that you did that? It ain't come with no judicial system, it ain't come with lost some money, like it came with a spiritual debt. You know what you did and the effect it had on who you done it to. And now you gotta kind of get morally right and stay morally right. And also because some places and some environments reward nastiness. So don't get attracted, don't get lustful with the and shit. That's almost an entitlement because you got paper trail. Now you feel that you got the authority to cut up and slip away. And check it. The responsibility could be that once people know that you got a paper trail, or because sometimes, and I've experienced it, if they can't physically see it, they're gonna play with you. They're gonna slow drag it. Everything gonna be questioned. Everything gonna be joked about. Everything is gonna be like denied and drug out, and almost like to make you be like, man, fuck that shit. I don't need that shit. That shit taken. They making me like I've already If they can't identify or fit, almost like if they can't put you in a judged idea of what that is, it's not taken seriously. But to stay on the responsibility tip of it, now everybody knows what's up with you. That you got papers to say that you're an adaptive, identifying person. A person who has some challenges, and that could be physically, neurologically, whatever way you want to put the challenge and expand the challenge. You got a responsibility of, like, say, whoever the first person was with the Special Olympics, that word on my nerves, the Special Olympics, the first person was like, I'm going for it. That person had a responsibility because they knew. They knew their situation, their circumstances, and they also decided that I'm going to be more than the expectation. I've got to be more than the expectation, because that could be a way of me getting in this house that is being made so complicated. So are you making it super duper unnecessarily complicated to get through the front door? Me hitting the Special Olympics is me coming into the back door, kicking doors down, because it got to stop somewhere and begin here in this action. So, continuing on, the art is how I thrive. Mind, body, soul, resource, and everything that's intertwined. It is all that is for me. And it's multiple levels of expression. It's not just like, oh, she paint. Like, I do photography, I do sculpture, music, poetry. Like, I'm versed in seeking and being curious and being prepared to learn and grow and do something. Like, I am that person. I am an expressive energy and willing to chameleon and do different things. Tap dance, drum, hand paint, like, I'm with all of it. Improv, like, I am the person who the water is art. The water is expression. Water quenching life source, art. Other things come behind it. Social atmosphere, yeah, when people connect with what I'm expressing, then boom. We conversating, we connecting, we making vibration happen. Posting shows, exhibits, one-on-one talks, podcasts, vlogs, write poetry, post it on social media. Like, everything expressive is how I am connecting commerce and relations. The other things get away, get complicated. Yeah. And I also have a picture to show that I've tried to go against the grain of myself. Like, just force yourself in the box of fixing yourself. Forcing yourself in the box of fix yourself, because people aren't curious enough to say, let me just study her. And I promise that I'll be responding differently once I study her. Versus, oh, I can picture you with this and that list. And also, somebody got to do something for something to happen. To whether it be the Special Olympics, probably allowed a lot of people who only got asked to do custodial services as their top out. They were only allowed what some would say shameful positions, throwaway positions, hide you away positions. So the Special Olympics had to happen for people to stop playing and take notice and fully have something to go with and disperse and debate that we need to stop the ignorance. But if nobody said that, yo, I'm about to hit the Special Olympics intention and make that a full thing, it's going to happen. People probably still would have been doing janitorial jobs, laughed at when they tried to do like higher education, wild shit. Not allowed to like get home loans or an apartment because they were deemed irresponsible. Yo, you've seen movies on that shit. What if they burn a house? Yo, my favorite movie. I forgot it. That's probably why I'm talking about it. My favorite is movie. The Other Sister. Yo, them actors did they shit in that movie. They did they shit in that movie. Almost parallel to Leonardo DiCaprio and eating Gilbert Grape. Killed it like the bagpipe people. Killed it. Where they were like, we're not gonna rent to your son. He's insufficient. Impossible. Burn my whole fucking apartment building down. Forget to feed himself. Flush the toilet. Shit in the toilet. Might shit on the floor. Like, it's gross. It's gross. Like, just fucking gross. The things that people conjured up via fear. So like, shit gotta happen for shit to happen. More times than not, I am learning every day more. And your biggest benefit and inheritance is your choice, your voice, your will to say yes, surely, or you got 2 seconds to get there sometimes. But yeah, more or less, and it can be a double header for some that identify in the way that I'm identifying as somebody who has a paper trail to say that, you know, neurologically they have more troubles than some, and it's twofold because it's permanent, but it's not. It's permanent because the damage of a traumatic brain injury kinda isn't something you grow out of, but you can grow through because you have to almost like a injury. You have to nurse it, nourish it back to aliveness. You have to get the best that you can get back to and be okay with what, you know, it just is. Because some shit, it just really is. And it could be like, you're able to do 80% of things, but 20%, you ain't getting that back. And 20% could be your memory. You better pen it down, or you ain't gonna retain it. And that was some of my experience when it was fresh in 95. I wasn't retaining the information. My attention spans was, yeah. Can you get Monique off the top of the door? We're trying to be mad from here. Like, yeah. And then, yeah, I think 95, they just probably like institutionalizing the problem. They ain't trying to really like, yo, the first school that I went to, that was, it was a beautiful, like beautiful situation. I went to the lab school. That's when I was like looking for a job, and I kind of felt like that job would allow me to easily slide up into that shit because that was their population. So it wouldn't be so far fetched because as a person who identifies with it is asking to be employed by you to work with the same population. Lab school, LAB. Lab school. They got one in Baltimore and then they got one in DC and I don't know what else. They may have one, but that school, they do everything, and I'm pretty sure they still are adequately looking to make it better. Probably every week or every year, like they're looking to scale up to see like what all can we do because we've done plenty. So doing plenty means that we can do absolutely almost everything, or not everything. And if we intend to be fully invested, let's do everything. Let's not just, take the gold medal home. Like, no, let's make sure that gold medals are obtained. So I'm sure that the lab school is probably thinking that way because they have the connection, relations, and they have the resource, money, to make things happen and have it happen if it can. That's that twofold money. We're like, oh, our dollars ain't equating because it's a social situation. All right, cool. We got what fruits do we have available? What trees we gotta shake or go see to make a thing happen? So this school had climb walls for certain identifying learning situations or physical physical explanations, whatever that person's physical was. I'm trying to find words not to say restriction, but they had thought of everything. Climb walls, so like if the kid's like, I can't do this shit 10 more minutes. I need a 10-minute break. They got, alright, take the kid out to the climb wall. Boom, boom, boom. Or they got like rather than hard ass chairs for the kids to sit in and stay in a fucking box situation or a like subservient position for 8 hours. They got like a medicine ball or the little, like a medicine ball. Not a medicine, but like the big one where you sit on it and some people do crunches or they just like sit on it and do activities with their arms and shit. They had those balls, but those balls had like handles on them. So they could just like, pivot back and forth or bounce back and forth. They had them shits rather than chairs. Textured floors, bean bags, couches in the hallway and shit, fish tanks, plants, it was the fucking best shit I ever had seen, and I was not even, and it was cute because I wasn't even jealous. I was just like, yo, y'all got it right. Like, y'all got it right. Am I clean out of school by 20 years? Yes. But y'all clean got it right. Y'all clean got it. Somebody was paying attention or somebody had this issue and was like, this ain't happening. Because I'm in position. I'm going to give it sound. I'm going to speak forward. I'm going to do something. My situation wasn't by chance. It wasn't just for me to get emotionally burnt out. It probably was for me to feel it in my gut, in my body, to be able to allow my brain to formulate what I'm going to say and how I'm really going to come through with the words or with the just being able to piece it together and create something that you like, I'm on board. I had no idea that was going on. That's not in my scope. And then you get into like, well, my kids are normal. So we don't know any special like stuff. These words can but either who, as much as I'm able to be open, I will, because I've already committed to making sure that I share my experience. I give a meal, like a meal of what it was to be in this situation of no address, a artist that it did kind of feel more of a logical situation, because yeah, and I'm not gonna hold you. It would seem like somebody who is in a no address situation, that person probably wants to fix it, is doing everything to fix it, trying to make it a right or wrong situation. When I trust that when you can't make sense out of it, it's because it's not a right or wrong situation. It is an assignment that you're being put in to go in and look at something. You're missing something. You haven't maybe been honest with something, or something is impeding. It's stopping something. It's rotting something. It is in the way. So these things are happening, or you are the catalyst. You are the catalyst. Who but you? Who but you? And also, like, the getting up part is as intense and precise in its build out as can be, because some of the major things or pieces that go with something else is connected to a part that isn't planned, or a part that you may not see the, like, what am I doing this for? What am I doing this for? Like, why are we here? Like, some things aren't clear just yet. Like, some things aren't clear just yet. It may be smaller words. It doesn't make sense, but it does. So whether it be, alright, you got getting back up, getting back in stride, being clear, maintaining that clarity, and then you have to breathe. Then it could be breathe where you just was, so you can be clear and vigilant that the to come is gracious and forgiving and compassionate and open, not scarred, scorned, vengeful, ready to clap back, ready to snipe, and them last minute things may come. Something more personal. Today, I went back and forth like Batman. Like, was it just a not so good day that this cousin was having? Or did I totally forget that the cousin already showed me that they wasn't in agreement with my change? And not being in agreement could be, you being smart now, you being slick now. And slick meaning like you trying me. You saying little slick shit, you doing little cute ass shit, like you doing things to show me your dissatisfaction with the change that you see. And because I'm in the change, I'm maybe not slapping you right back like a bear claw. Like, that's just right back. Like, because I'm not in that I gotta be on it. I'm not in that surviving pattern. I'm like almost kind of like lag, or like we're in two different time and spaces. You shooting, you firing off, and I'm like kind of like I'm not getting hit, but I'm not instantly ducking. I'm just looking at the bullets as they moving by my body, like, and then looking at you like, what you shooting me for? Like, I'm confused. Like, yo, I thought she was the favorite cousin. It was clear to me that we was the favorite cousin. You got some receipts to say that you was the favorite cousin. And then now that we in the same space and having time to unwind, we not. And I don't know why we not. Or did I forget? Maybe I did forget. And you made it clear, and then I'm like, I forgot, and then now you reminded me and shit. And so as I said, was it today not a good one, or did I just get caught back up with that person is firm on they're not a participant in your change, and the responsibility that you have to have as the person that's seen and is aware of that, grieving it, like feeling your feelings. If it's like that's some fucked up ass shit, or he was just having a bad day, or damn, she really right now with none of that. And all that comes with it, like, which can be, as I said, it's a psychological and then it's a physical thing to know address. You just came from isolation. And then when you get back into a rotation of people that you are familiar with and come into like, that is dying or that is no more, are you going to shift into people pleasing to obtain that familiarity and that proposed comfort because you just was in isolation and you are almost at like in dire need, but the dire need is like you have to replenish your cup with clear water, not tainted water. Should be real. It should be real. Like, I wasn't planning for that today. I really wasn't. But this is the ask of the mission's ask is precise. You have to complete whoever you were to move into who I am calling, and the will is for you to be. And that ain't no fucking wishy-washy dumbass shit. It is, when this comes about, you cannot be in the middle of, oh, let me just take the insults and the injuries and the wounds and the injustices just to be in space with. It is a hygiene that you must have about who you are and knowing that. And that does not switch or alter for no one. No one. It is efficient, so it has no kicks. I know who I am, and I'm in that responsibility always. So if you are not in agreement with my change and are unwilling, I must receive that, grieve that, and prepare space for what's next. And maybe the first exercise being a complicated one, or one that you wouldn't be willing to do if you couldn't choose yourself and chose them. Maybe it got to start out that way because, say, just to make it quicker, it starts out hard to make sure that you get it. You get it and you commit. So it starts out hard. So it can kind of be like a gift once it starts to go into it's starting to lighten up. It's starting to get clear to me that this decision has to be made, and I'm making it. So it's becoming a natural thing to choose you. But to break it, to put the seed in the soil, we gotta start here at level 10. So like all of it, man. All of it. So be mindful. Learn more than you know already. Learn a little bit about everything. It is your wealth and your inheritance. It's something you can absolutely give to yourself, and it's a tool that you always use to learn, and you can pass it on. So it is your inheritance. It is your wealth to learn a little bit about everything. That's your covenant. To not do so could be dangerous. And I trust that eventually it is dangerous to stay ignorant and only in your existence. There's a such thing as observe and not absorb. But I trust that this experience came with such precision, because I probably can say that it knew I could handle, or it knew I had the mind to allow it, the mind to do something with it, the mind to be able to transmute it, the mind to be able to manifest through it, the mind to be willing to seed. Because she'll be curious, she'll get frustrated, but she's gonna commit. She's gonna figure it out. And she's also prepared and already learned to be in a forgiving and compassionate state, so she won't totally wreck herself, because she's able to see beauty in all things. So if the day doesn't, so if it's 11 months or 2 months or 2 weeks, she's able to find a garden that somebody left behind and go in there, and because she's moving in gratitude, her energy is aligned with the space of growth and seeding and coming through and rotting, but rotting to be the microbiome, rotting to be the decomposer, and learn how important the decomposer is to environment. It is the mycelium or whatever other decomposer, how important the decomposer is to the environment of whatever it is. She is able to go into the garden and still see life there. She's able to go into the garden because she's in an attitude of gratitude, so she's welcome. She may see a blue jay, she may see a mockingbird, she may see a sparrow, she may see an earthworm, she may see a caterpillar, she might see a moth, she might see a butterfly, she may see a squirrel, and be like, oh, this was in prayer position the whole time. I was in prayer position, praying, not eating. Like, I was in prayer position the whole time. Yeah, look at that. When you're able to look and see, all you saw is what you're going to tell those who listen. Like, you're able to, you should watch it. Sit your ass on the grass, probably because you know, like, drowning in that garden, and just watch the show, and the show watch you. And then maybe you'll hear a frog or something. Like, I walk past a frog today. I gotta stop jumping every time I see the frog. I already know that they're gonna be somewhere I'm at. but it was a big one, and I didn't really expect to see it. Cause I'm like, you chilling? The creek down there. Why you up at the street level? You taking your shower? But subscribe, so you can know when I'm on the line or when to catch up with what I already recorded and how to send some mutual aid so I can continue to grow forward, share forward, and also get back in nest, get back in nest, get back in nest. Surely, surely, surely be grateful for everything. Life is a gift. And inhalation and exhalation is guaranteed, just like death is promised. Be good. Be good.